If you thought royalty was just the world of tiaras, tea parties, and palace tours, then you were completely wrong. The real monarchs don't wave from balconies. They control oil empires, private banks, and entire nations from behind layers of silk, security, and silence. You've probably never seen their faces. You might not even know their names. But they move through the world with the kind of wealth that makes headlines quietly disappear. In this video, we're going to count down the richest royal families in the world. And trust us, one of them is sitting on trillions. You'll want to watch for that one. Starting with the Grimaldi family, Monaco's royal dynasty of glamour and power. Just hearing the name Monaco evokes images of polished Bentleys, roulette tables, and rows of mega yachts lined up. But behind this playground for the ultra-wealthy stands the Grimaldis, a family that has ruled longer than many nations have existed. This royal dynasty has held power in Monaco since 1297. That's over 7 centuries of uninterrupted rule, during which they've turned a rocky coastal outcrop into one of the most expensive pieces of land on Earth. Today, Monaco may be less than a square mile in size, but it's a financial fortress, a tax haven, and a billionaire's paradise, all designed, owned, and managed by the Grimaldi legacy. At the helm is Prince Albert II, son of Prince Rainier III and Hollywood icon Grace Kelly. But this family isn't living off glamour and nostalgia. They are major players in one of Europe's most powerful microstates. The Grimaldis own an estimated 25% of Monaco's land, and in a country where real estate can cost upwards of $50,000 per square meter, that's proper domination. They own and control Société des Bains de Mer, the powerful hospitality group that runs some of the country's crown jewels. From the famous Casino de Monte Carlo to the 5-star Hotel de Paris to elite resorts, beach clubs, spas, and even parts of the Formula One infrastructure. Nearly every luxury experience in Monaco passes through the Grimaldis' economic reach. Their official residence, the Prince's Palace, sits like a fortress above the harbor. Inside its stone walls are artworks, gold leaf halls, and centuries of preserved nobility, all while the prince conducts the kind of high-level diplomacy and policy shaping that most constitutional monarchs left behind long ago. Although the family's estimated net worth is around $1 billion, that number barely scratches the surface. Their true influence lies in Monaco's unique laws, where there's no income tax or wealth tax or even property tax. These policies have turned Monaco into a haven for financiers, tech moguls, industrial heirs, and celebrities, all of whom live under rules the Grimaldi family helped cement into place. The Grimaldis are rarely loud about their wealth. They don't even need to be. Their strategy is quiet influence, long-term power, and control of a kingdom designed for luxury. While other royal families struggle with modern relevance, the Grimaldis thrive in their niche, discreet, profitable, and ever-present in one of the richest corners of Europe. Next on our list is the Alawite Dynasty of Morocco. The Alawite Dynasty has held the throne since the mid-1600s, solidifying its position in Morocco's political and economic life. King Mohammed VI currently oversees a financial empire. Public records peg their wealth at approximately $8.2 billion, though real holdings, including covert trusts and foreign listed assets, likely push that figure significantly higher. So how did they get their money? At the center of their economic control lies Almaty, formerly known as the Société Nationale d'Investissement. This encompasses substantial minority and majority stakes in core industries, banks such as Banque Centrale Populaire, telecom operators like Medi Telecom, mining operations including phosphates, energy companies involved in solar and oil, hospitality and real estate, retail chains and supermarket groups, insurance, construction, and logistics. Through Almaty and related shell entities, the Alawites influence Morocco's GDP, major revenues, and legislative direction. Their wealth reaches beyond the kingdom. Investments extend into Europe and sub-Saharan Africa. Their real estate assets include multiple fortified palaces in Rabat, Fez, Marrakech, and Casablanca. These residences are fortified centers of power with private mosques, internal security, diplomatic quarters, guarded airstrips, and exclusive wings dedicated to state functions. On the open market, they command tens of millions of dollars each. Vehicles owned privately or by the palace security detail include cooled armored sedans from manufacturers like Mercedes-Benz and Bentley. Art collections feature rare items from Africa, the Islamic world, and Europe, valued in the hundreds of millions. The family also maintains global properties, estimated in the hundreds of millions, by the way, in European capitals. Next, we turn to a royal family that built a nation's wealth from desert oil reserves, transforming it into global investment power. If you've ever looked at a skyline filled with glittering towers and thought, that looks like the future, you were probably looking at Dubai, and the center of it all is the Al Maktoum royal family. The Al Maktoum royal family are the rulers of the Emirate of Dubai, part of the United Arab Emirates, and trust us, they're not your average ceremonial monarchs. This family built one of the most mind-bending cities on earth from the desert sand. The head of the family, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, is the vice president and prime minister of the UAE and the ruler of Dubai. The Al Maktoum family's net worth is estimated at over $18 billion, but that's just what's above the surface. They have stakes in construction, aviation, media, logistics, and yes, that includes the world's largest airline, Emirates. And this is not just it. The family also owns Dubai Holding, a global investment conglomerate involved in tech, hospitality, real estate, and finance. Now, if you're wondering what that kind of money looks like in real life, just look around Dubai. The Burj Khalifa, tallest building in the world, is backed by Al Maktoum. The Palm Islands, man-made palm tree-shaped islands that can be seen from space, is their vision. And the Dubai Mall is bigger than your average town. It's theirs too. The royal family has a fleet of over 100 luxury cars, including gold-plated Lamborghinis and custom Rolls-Royces. They travel with personal falcons, race Arabian horses that cost more than your average mansion, and have private 747s customized like floating palaces. One of their palaces even has a private zoo with lions and tigers, and no, this is not an exaggeration. But here's what makes them even more captivating. Despite the blinding wealth, they've mastered the art of branding their monarchy as modern. Sheikh Mohammed is all over social media, dropping poems, speeches, and occasional family moments, blending ancient Bedouin legacy with 21st century PR. Yet, not everything is glitter and gold. There have been controversies. Sheikh Mohammed's daughters attempting to flee the country sparked global headlines and raised questions. But despite all that, the Al Maktoum grip on Dubai remains undisputed. If you could rule over a city where literally nothing is impossible, indoor ski resorts, rotating skyscrapers, underwater hotels, would you go full luxury like the Al Maktoums, or would you just keep it low-key? Coming up next is the Al Nahyan Family, Abu Dhabi's oil dynasty and global power brokers. Abu Dhabi's skyline glitters with ambition. You sure can see glass and steel towers reflect an empire that stretches far beyond the desert. Well, at the center of it all stands the Al Nahyan family, who are the custodians of the region's dominant emirate and architects of a quiet but profound royal industrial empire. Their wealth is over $300 billion in collective assets, and this is more than the GDP of many nations. It all begins with ADNOC, or ADNOC, the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company, operating hundreds of oil and gas fields and turning out millions of barrels daily. But extraction is just their start. Their fortunes are diversified through Mubadala Investment Company and Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, a pair of sovereign investment giants managing well over $1 trillion in assets. Their portfolio stretches across blue-chip Western corporations like Uber, SpaceX, Citigroup, and luxury consumption outlets worldwide. If you're a football fan, you'll know them best via City Football Group, whose prized asset, Manchester City, belongs to Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed, a senior Al Nahyan. Their ownership has transformed a mid-table team into a global powerhouse. What's often overlooked is their map. Teams in New York, Melbourne, Yokohama. It's royalty in football livery, and it's just one slice of their global strategy. On the luxury front, their lifestyle could rival any billionaire fantasy. The Emirates Palace Hotel is one of the world's most expensive buildings. There are personal wings, royal suites, and gold flake cappuccinos served poolside. Their private fleets include jets and VIP aircraft, often stationed alongside national carriers. Not to be outdone, the Al Nahyan's own private islands, insane desert estates, luxury yachts, and museum-grade art collections. Their homes and galleries are private universes of taste and legacy. But it hasn't always been ceremonial. Political control remains tight. Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan serves as both president of the UAE and supreme commander of the armed forces. His reach touches diplomacy, education reform, carbon-neutral transition plans, and defense. Up next is the House of Liechtenstein. Now let's take a sharp left turn from golden palaces and mega yachts and zoom into a tiny alpine country most people forget exists, Liechtenstein. Nestled between Switzerland and Austria, this postage stamp-sized nation holds a financial fortress, and right at its helm is the House of Liechtenstein. The Liechtenstein royal family is one of the richest in Europe, with an estimated net worth of $20 billion. But here's the thing, they didn't build their wealth on oil or tourism. They built it like bankers, slowly, smartly, and silently. The ruling monarch, Prince Hans Adam II, is technically one of the last remaining absolute monarchs in Europe. He's handed most day-to-day power to his son, Prince Alois, but this is still very much a family-run operation. So where does the money come from? Banks, specifically the LGT Group, one of the most powerful private banking and asset management firms in the world, and it's owned entirely by the royal family. They manage over $300 billion in assets for some of the richest clients on the planet, from tech moguls to oil barons and, well, other royal families. They also own vast tracts of land, castles, art collections worth hundreds of millions, and real estate across Europe. But here's what really makes them fascinating. They're not flashy. They move like chess players, not show ponies. They've used Liechtenstein's financial laws to turn the country into a secure, discreet tax haven and built one of the most stable, high-income economies in Europe. In fact, the country's GDP per capita is one of the highest in the world. Another royal family, where gold, silk, and mystery swirl around the throne, is the royal family of Brunei. Brunei is a lush, oil-rich nation on the island of Borneo and home to one of the most extravagant royal families on Earth. And the ruling royal family of Brunei is the House of Bolkiah, led by Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah, a man whose name is practically synonymous with decadence. Let's just say, if luxury had a throne, the Sultan would already own it. Plus the palace, the cars, the private zoo. The Bolkiah family's estimated net worth is around $30 billion, and that's a conservative estimate. Brunei is a petrostate, and oil is the lifeblood that has funded this royal dynasty's rise into superstardom. But here's the part that turns heads. The Sultan personally owns the world's largest private residence, Istana Nurul Iman, a palace with over 1,700 rooms, 250 bathrooms, and a banquet hall that can host 5,000 guests. Sultan Bolkiah's car collection is legendary. Over 7,000 vehicles, including 500 Rolls-Royces, 300 Ferraris, and models that don't even exist anywhere else. His garage is worth more than the GDP of small nations. And his brother, Prince Geoffrey, once made headlines as the world's most extravagant spender, allegedly blowing through $14 billion in personal luxuries. Think gold-plated toilet brushes, yachts with NSFW names, and a harem of supermodels flown in on private jets. But what makes the Brunei royals truly fascinating is how shielded they are from the public eye. The Sultan rules with near-absolute power, blending monarchy with religion and government. In Brunei, criticism of the royal family is illegal, and their public image is tightly controlled. Next, we're headed somewhere even more exclusive, the royal family of Qatar. Qatar is a nation smaller than Connecticut, but backed by a royal family with enough wealth and influence to shake entire industries. We're talking about the Thani family, with an estimated net worth of over $335 billion. The House of Thani has turned Qatar into a modern-day empire of investors, and they did it quietly. While other royal families flaunt their bling, Qatar buys the companies that sell it. Let's run the receipts. They own Harrods in London, one of the most famous luxury department stores in the world. They're majority stakeholders in The Shard, the tallest building in the UK. They own Paris Saint-Germain, the football club that casually signed Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe. And through their Qatar Investment Authority, they have stakes in Volkswagen, Barclays, Tiffany & Company, Sainsbury's, and even New York real estate. And while Qatar may seem like a sand-swept, oil-rich nation to outsiders, it's also now a cultural and diplomatic hotspot, thanks to the Al Thanis. The family pulled off one of the boldest power moves in modern history, bringing the FIFA World Cup to the Middle East for the first time ever in 2022. This move cost over $200 billion, making it the most expensive World Cup in history, but it turned the world spotlight onto Qatar. However, unlike some royal families that crave the spotlight, the Al Thanis operate like a shadow empire. Their members hold positions across the government, the military, and massive corporations, often without the public knowing their names. They're intensely private, but their impact is impossible to ignore. When a royal family can buy the buildings you work in, the teams you root for, and the banks that manage your money, how invisible are they, really? Now, at the top of our list is the royal family of Saudi Arabia, the House of Saud. The House of Saud is the ruling royal family of Saudi Arabia and arguably the richest royal family in the world. To be clear, their estimated collective net worth is over $1.4 trillion. Yes, trillion with a T. Its generational wealth stretches across thousands of royal family members, most of whom are living in palatial luxury. But at the top of the Golden Pyramid is the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salam, better known as MBS, the face of modern Saudi Arabia. And while he's only in his mid-30s, MBS is the architect of a bold new Saudi era, fusing centuries-old monarchy with future-forward ambition. Let's talk about power moves. He launched Vision 2030, a plan to transform Saudi Arabia from oil dependency into a hub for tourism, tech, and entertainment. He's building Neom, a $500 billion futuristic megacity in the desert with robotic maids, flying taxis, and a linear city called The Line. He bought a $450 million Da Vinci painting, a $300 million French chateau, and one of the world's most expensive yachts. That's just what we know about. But here's where it gets next level. The Saudi royal wealth isn't tied up in trust funds or dusty old bank accounts. It's active, alive, and strategic. Through Aramco, the state oil company, the family essentially owns one of the most valuable companies on earth. In 2022 alone, Aramco posted profits of over $160 billion. And guess who reaps the benefits? Yep, the House of Saud. They control policy, wealth, land, religion, and media inside the kingdom. From the outside, they may seem enigmatic, but inside Saudi Arabia, their influence is woven into every fiber of the nation's fabric. And there you have it, the royal families that quietly rule the world. Not with fairy dust and storybooks, but with money and absolute monarchy. Now tell us, which of these royals shocked you the most? And if you had access to even 1% of their fortune, what's the first royal indulgence you'd splurge on? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget, this was only a glimpse into the real royalty of our world.